Hello, everybody, and welcome to Hustle Woman Radio, where the joy of the Lord is our strength so that the obstacles of life don't become our kryptonite. This is the station where you will learn, laugh, and get loved on. I am your host, the Hustle Woman herself, Aquila Maddox, also known to many of you as the Inspirationalist. I have a passion to see women walk in joy, peace, and love within themselves as well as their relationships. And that itself causes a major impact on your productivity as well as self-esteem. I want to see my queens depressed and aware of their self-worth. I want to reiterate again that the hustle woman is the modern day Proverbs 31 woman. If you don't know the story, she was a beast. She would wake up and start her day early. She would be able to empower her servants. She would serve her family. And then she went on with her day, which may have consisted of buying land, planting a field or a vineyard. And then she would even sew and make sure she had the best fabrics and linen to keep her family protected and warm from all the elements. She would take care of everything, no matter what it was that she saw it coming. She looked for and pursued opportunities. She was a boss. So, with that being said, we have now modern day hustle woman, which I see as a superhero. And each and every aspect of her character is her superpower. So I'm super excited as always to be here on another fabulous Sunday, chilling in the office, loving on my baby because she's always in the building, you guys. I'm super excited also to see a little bitty hustle woman in training. She had an opportunity to cook dinner tonight. She did a fabulous job too. She was frying chicken. Hey, every hustle woman has to know at least how to fry chicken. And for those of you who know my story, I think that's a great accomplishment for me myself, because my previous husband will tell you when I made chicken, it used to bleed. And it was beautiful. Put it on the plate. It looked good. And then he cut in that thing like, now what are we supposed to do with this? So needless to say, I've absolutely mastered the master fried chicken. It's not bleeding anymore. Don't judge me. However, was passing that skill down to the little hustle woman so she can know how to do it for herself. So anyway, she loves cooking. She loves helping me out. And I definitely appreciate her help. So I wanted to give a shout out to my baby princess. I love you all the time. No matter what. Even though you work nerves at times, you're still bomb.com. So anyway, let's get started today. I absolutely always got to kind of fill you in on what has happened. It's been 7 days, and in that 7 days, it's a lot always happens that takes place. Well, I had an opportunity to participate in my first coffee clutch on Friday with the amazing Tamika Williams, and she's a business coach, entrepreneur. She's a serial entrepreneur, as we tend to be. Oftentimes, we tend to be. We always have several things going on, and we look for more opportunities to be a help. She's definitely a dynamic woman. She's out there volunteering with Dress for Success. She partners with other amazing organizations that help empower women as well. So I wanted to give a special hustle woman shout out to you, Tamika Williams. She also brought on Odie Harris to help pick his brain and get some information, should I say, to help other entrepreneurs, up and coming or professionals, to be able to, meet their goals. What are your goals? Be familiar with those goals. Are you making some progress towards those goals? And being familiar with any hindrances that you can foresee that may stop you from getting to where it is that you want to go. And then how to not just be aware of those things, but how do you prepare for them? So it was a really great meeting. Definitely super excited to be in the building. A friend of mine, as well as my assistant, another Tamika Williams, was there, and it was awesome because she's also starting a business of her own. Congratulations to you, Tamika Williams. Super excited for you. She's on Facebook as Tamika Haney, so I want to let you know that I'm super proud of all your accomplishments. Hustle women in the making, you guys. It makes me always excited because it's not just about being busy, but it's being productive. And so she had an opportunity to start a business of her own, and she took a leap for it. And you don't know, if you ain't ever done it, how much work and how much guts that takes. It's not a game. So I tell people out there, being a business owner is not for the faint of heart. Your hustle has to be real. It has to come from a within place. It is not just about what you're doing on the outside so people can notice you and be familiar with who you are, but you know that what you're doing is going to be an asset, not to just your family, but to those around you. So kudos to you. Super excited to hear about your adventure as we share and walk in this journey together. Let's see. I wanted to just empower my women on today. Oh, so much. As I talk to women, I like I said, it's so interesting because women are so phenomenal and beautiful, and I oftentimes run into women who don't necessarily own that revelation. They don't own that they are amazing creatures. They don't own that they are beautiful. They don't own that. And there's a difference. Like when you own it versus when you rent it, you treat it different, right? Now, when you know you own it, even if it's borrowed, like if it's in my possession, I'm still going to care for it in like an amazing way. And for some of my owners out there who they know what I'm talking about, because when you own, even when you go into renting, you still gonna love on that property like it was yours, because even for the time that you're entrusted with it, you gonna kill it. You gonna decorate the heck out of it. You gonna make sure it's comfort and cozy, because all you are familiar with is owning, and that became an internal part of you now. That it's not just about, hey, I didn't sign my name on the paper to, own this property or anything like that. But while it's in my care, I'm gonna take advantage of this opportunity. And so the same is true when people give you compliments and they say, girl, you are beautiful. You may not necessarily believe it, so it's a rented compliment at the moment, but own that thing like it's yours. And I mean, literally allow that to be what began to overtake you. So I wanted to share a couple of things. Like, for one, I always say my hustle woman tip of every day is get up and get dressed and honest and truthfully be what you want to attract. So if you look in the mirror and you don't attract yourself, then you have to recognize there's probably some people you are missing out on opportunities to attract. And it doesn't mean that you're just trying to attract them so they can tell you cute, or because they can say, oh, girl, you know what, I like your makeup, you did that. No. I'm talking about attracting future clients. I'm talking about attracting contracts and business partners and other people to partner with and team up with. Look how you want to attract. Look like what you want to attract. Honest and truthfully, listen, I did a test of this. My assistant will probably be like, did you really just put me on blast? But she know I love her. So anyhow, some days she's like, well, Aquila, we can have bummy days. We can. But I believe that for me, every day is an opportunity to meet a client. I have two businesses. One of them is that I braid. If you see my hair like out of control, are you going to want me to do your hair? I'll wait. Okay, so I didn't think so. So in the same regard, I think about that as well as I think about coaching. When people see me, they're going to be like, if you don't look like you somewhat together, why would I want you to help me get my life together? Right? So needless to say, God is so perfect because that is the foundation of my being. And before I would give any advice, I always tell the Lord, I say, listen, Lord, you confirm your word. And I mean that. Confirm your word, because it ain't about me just speaking words because I'm, a hustle woman and I want to speak and share things. But I want it to be seed. I want it to be producing. And I want there to actually be a harvest on the other side of that seed. So I was telling her and encouraging her, like, girl, you are absolutely beautiful. Go on and do what you do. Let's pretend like this is one of those moments that you're like stepping out and going for the gusto. Do you know that we went to an event and sure enough, people began to just literally love on her with their words and acknowledge every aspect of her dressing up. She was like, what? I was like, and then she left. Don't tell nobody I told y'all. But she left with 2 leads for her business that she just started. What? Yes. And they literally attributed, they were like, listen, because of the way you present yourself, your conversation, you're together, your hair's done, your makeup's on fleek, hashtag not again. That's literally what they said. They were like, it would make me want to hire you as, to give you a contract to you. So needless to say, I believe it's very important to be what you would want to attract. If you would want to attract a person that's vibrant, then be vibrant. If you want to attract a person or a business or a business contract that's lasting and faithful, that. If you want to attract a business or business partners that are fun and inspiring, be that. Be what you want to attract. Dress for the day. It goes beyond your outfit. It also includes your attitude. Another thing that I wanted to share, because I also find too that a lot of women are like, what is my purpose? I don't have one, or I'm trying to figure that out. Being a hairdresser, I have so many people that I have the privilege and the honor of sharing time with that are sitting in my seat. And so recently I had a client who shared with me, was like, I don't know what my purpose is. I'm trying to figure that out. Sometimes I feel like I'm hopping around from position to position and job to job, but I don't even see what the point and the purpose of these jobs are. Well, I believe that each and every job that you work at serves a purpose and to help you get to where you're going. Sometimes it simply challenges our ability to endure an atmosphere, because not every environment is going to look the way you want it to look. Not every experience, honest and truthfully, is going to be the same, but you won't know it until you get to the end. So give you an example. If you haven't mastered how to sit there and deal with being on a call with a very difficult client and still maintain a positive attitude to where you can influence that client on that phone, God may allow you to constantly be in a position where you will be on a phone dealing with some difficult clients until you recognize that your response is not about them. It should be out of you. It should be a direct reflection of your character, not their behavior. So I always believe that there's nothing wasted in our experiences and our journey. Here's the key. When God made Adam, no offense to my brothers who may be listening to this podcast, God made you out of a desire. He was like, listen, I have a desire to share the wealth of all of my being with someone. So he created man. Then man was out there doing their thing, kicking it and everything, right? Out there enjoying the garden and its fine breeze on that day. And then he looked up on Adam and said, you need something. I can tell based off of your whole attitude right about now, you're missing something. And so he created woman. He created woman out of a need. That's right, you're needed. So what does that mean? That means that you, without the shadow of doubt, have a purpose. The Lord put you right where you are to say, hey, somebody needs you. When I created you, I was aware of all of the people that you were going to be connected to. Now here's the key too. It wasn't just for you to help someone else, but it's also for others to be a blessing to you. Hustle women, come on. I know you out there, and I know that it's not always easy to receive, but we have to be better at that, because otherwise we disrupt the flow and the circle of life. If you're familiar with the Lion King, you already know there's a circle of life. The circle of life. Okay, I'm done. But anyway, so understand that your very existence is to be a blessing and an asset to someone else, but also for them to be a blessing and an asset to you. I want you to be meaningful in your relationships. Be intentional and say, listen, and don't be afraid to open your mouth and say, this is what it is that I need. I believe that also a major part of that is being quiet. Sometimes I want us to sit down and just meditate. When I'm putting together my project, so I'm working on a project and I'm putting together different things, believe it or not, I sit in my office in sheer silence. Absolutely no noise. And I believe this is a very good practice, an exercise, so that I can intentionally laser focus on whatever it is that I'm doing in that moment. I'm training my brain to be familiar with concentrating on one thing. You hear it all the time, as well as you experience it. My brain is all over the place. Constant thoughts, constant things going on. But sometimes we just want to be very quiet, because then God will say, listen, you see that person over there? They have what you need, and I want you to ask them. And it's a person you've been connected to this whole time and just didn't even think about asking, because you're so busy in your hustle woman flow that you're trying to take on everything by yourself. And then though there are some people who are familiar with the necessity of their existence, that they're too consumed with being a help, instead of allowing God to show them where others have been placed in their lives to be a help to them. Sometimes I'm guilty of that. So, like I said, being silent is very, very important, just the same as, just the same as being productive and moving and speaking life into others. Last thing I would like to share to encourage my hustle woman out there is, oftentimes when God gives you something, he gives you an idea, a purpose, and a passion for something. Everyone will not be able to be familiar with your passion. They won't even be always connected to your passion and your purpose in the same way that you would like them to. So if I share with you, hey, I'm super excited for the Hustle Woman Convention coming up, and a person may be sitting there like, cricket. Oh, that's nice. That's good. It doesn't mean that there's something wrong with you, or that there's something wrong with what you're doing. It doesn't mean that you're out of place because people don't support what you're doing. Sometimes your purpose will lead you down a road that may exist with just you. And that's okay too. If you think about Jesus, it was only so much he can do with the disciples. At some point, he was going to have to walk that road by himself. And I think that we oftentimes miss that, because the support is really awesome and amazing, and it's nice. It's very, we just talked in my previous point, I just talked about how God has put us here to help each other. But I don't want us to become so distracted by the fact that support is there and it can exist, that we miss an opportunity for God to take us in the place where we allow others to be able to be free. We then contaminate the power of our testimony because we are not able to give God all the glory, because we're talking about every person that was then involved and connected with where it is that we were going. God is going to still set you up to succeed even if it's on you. And guess what? You have a capacity for it. We talk about that often, that you have an amazing capacity, and that's demonstrated or reflected in the fact that God gave you a womb. And he did not give that same thing to man. He gave you added space and ability and capacity to carry the life of others, even while lifting your own weights. How amazing is that? My God, it blesses me every time I think about it. So when I get discouraged and feel like, okay, Lord, you said you won't put more on me than I can bear. And then I remember how I gained 60 pounds with my son. And I had to carry my weight as well as his. And I wasn't necessarily trying to lose or worry about it either, because I had a great time eating. I just enjoyed myself everywhere I went. And so the Lord reminds me of, Quila, what you think your shoulder capacity is, I know what it is. So I want to be able to empower you ladies out there to know that even despite how rough, how frustrating, whatever it is that you're going through, it seems like, man, I'm out here by myself trying to get this business plan done. It may seem like I'm out here by myself trying to work and go to school. I'm out here by myself and there's no one to support me while I'm going to real estate school or whatever it is that you're doing. But there may be some times when you get to that part of your journey where the only person that's going to be able to walk down that path is you. But I believe that you're beautiful, ladies, and I just don't want you to forget that. And so I wanted to just let you see all the beautiful aspects of who you are by sharing these 3 things. 1, start your day. Hustle woman, number 1. Start your day. And as you can see, my child may be on her road to get in trouble because she knows exactly what she's supposed to be doing and she's not doing it. But oh well. This is how hustle women roll. We have to kind of take these things in stride, right? So anyhow, number 1, our hustle woman tip of the day: always get dressed and be a reflection of what you want to attract. Number 2, To know that you always have a purpose because you were created out of a need. And last but not least, the lack of support does not mean that what you are doing is not meant to be done. It may be a reflection that you are at this part of your journey where God has now completely allowed you to walk with just Him, hand in hand, in this part of your story. But knowing that no matter what, you're still equipped and built with the capacity to sustain it, no matter whatever part of your journey you're in. Hey, this is the Hustle Woman. Enjoying me some Carrie Hilson in the background. What? Talking about my pretty girls rock. Because you do. And I believe all of you women are pretty and beautiful. And I don't want you to forget it. See you next week on Hustle Woman Radio. With the joy of the Lord is our strength. So that the obstacles of life don't become our kryptonite.